Hello, welcome back to Oracle DBA tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to discuss about how do you start a database. And as you see last class that we have already installed a Oracle database, so installed an Oracle database on Amazon EC2. And in this, like now, all we configured the database, and then we are all ready to see like what's go not to use that database. So in this tutorial, we're going to see how do we start up the database. So let's understand what is the startup database process. So startup process involved three steps. So first step is called instance creation. Is called instance creation, and then the second step is called mount, and the third step is called open. So in the instant creation, what happens is that Oracle is going to read the parameter file, and from that parameter file it will find out how much is the memory allocation is for the system global area, and then it will allocate those memory structure. So that means instant creation, the following things will happen: that memory structure will be allocated, based on what is the size in the parameter file. And second one is going to happen is the background processes is going to be created. Background processes will be created. Okay, and then in the mount stage, what's going to happen is that the instance is going to read the control file. Okay, because instance will read the control file and locate where are those data files are. Where are the data files and the redo log files. And then the second thing is going to happen is that locate data file and redo files. Okay, and then in the open stage, actually what it's going to do is going to open the data files and redo log files. So it will open the data files and redo log files, so that database is operational right now. And there are a couple of optional steps can happen, and those optional steps are optional steps. So if your database has previously shut down abruptly, or or something really not shut down normally, then what is going to do, it can do an instance recovery. Okay, and then if you have any in-doubt transaction, then there is a process called reco process is going to recover those in-doubt transactions. Okay, so essentially the database startup is involved three steps: instance creation, mount, and then open. And once this open phase is completed properly, then the database is operational and ready to be used. So now let's take some hands-on example. So whenever you do the first thing that I have to, in order to start my database, I need to connect using a privileged user like sys as sysdba. Okay, so whoever adds sysdba or sysupper privileges, those users can only start up and shut down the database. So therefore the first thing is that I'm going to connect to my, so this is the database that I have in Amazon EC2 cloud, and I'm going to connect using SQL plus sys as sysdba. My password is okay. So now I'm connected to the database. Okay, so connected to the Oracle server, and the first thing is that I'm going to show you the first command is to start up. So there is a command called start up. So if I hit this command, then it is going to read from the default parameter file, and in this case default parameter file is determined by sp file or server p file. And in my sp file I must have specified what is the size of SGA, what are the number of DB writer is going to start, and what are the database name and so on. So what is going to happen is that when I run this command startup is going to automatically look at the sp file and then figure out what are the parameters is required. And then in this case, if I do startup, so the first thing is that the Oracle instance is started. So this is what the command it what the message is giving. So that means it's already started the instance. That means it has allocated this amount of memory. So and also it puts like how much memory is allocated to what. So basically it looks like total source system global area is about 503 megabyte. So if I want to just recap, so this is your shared SGA, and SGA consists of different shared pool, redo buffer, buffer cache, and so on. So basically, what this thing is saying that the total SGA size is 503 MB, and then is saying that the database buffer is 314 MB. So let's say this buffer cache is 314, and then it's saying that redo buffer is 29 MB. So redo buffer is 29 MB, and then we have the variable size like those large pool, Java pool, and so on. That is coming up 184 megabyte, and then it's saying that the fixed size, so that fixed SGA size is 125. And after that, after this instance is created, you can also go on and see like there must be some processes like smon, pmon, all these processes are already started and then working. And now is in the process of mounting the database. Okay, so startup command is going to create instance, which is already done in our case, and now it's mounting. So mounting looks like taking some time now, and we'll see like why it normally should be done by this time. Maybe something is going wrong here in my database, but anyway, like we just wait for some time. Oh, okay, I think it's already mounted and opened. I just have to hit and enter. Okay, so create instance and then it mount. So the mount means it's read the control file and then it has opened. So if you see in our in this in the command line, the first thing that is giving me all this instant creation, and this step is database mounted and database open. So now database is opened and then uh, ready for operational. However, in certain cases, what we're going to do, we are going to start up. So basically, if you understand the steps are like this. So let's say this is the shutdown when nothing is going on, and then this is the mount. That means in the here instance is created, and then this is open. So from this phase to this phase, we open the database. Okay, so 0, nothing is happening, to mount to open, and here like database is all started and open. So by giving the startup command, what we can do, we can just do everything at once. But it is also necessary and also it's useful in certain cases that we want to just go on and stay in this position. Okay, we just start the database, we just start the instance, we do not start, we do not open the database, we do not mount and so on. So in that case, what you can do, you can let me first shut down this database so that I can show you the other examples. Okay, so while this database shut down, so let's discuss some important thing. So basically what I'm saying is that I can, instead of going from shutdown to open, I can go into intermediate state. That means the first thing that I'm going to show you, I'm going to start up the database in no mount. That means I'm just going to create the instance. So just to create the instance, the command is start up no mount. Okay, so it looks like still this shutdown is going on, so we'll just wait some time. So in startup no mount, what I'm going to do, I'm going to from shutdown stage, I'm going to go to the mount state. Okay, and why we do startup no mount? We need to modify the control file. But remember, in the mount state, like once we mount, then only we can read the control file. So before we read the control file, if you want to modify certain things, then we can modify the control file by starting the database in no mount. So okay, so it looks like, so let's see startup. Okay, so it's all done. So like if you compare, in the previous case we are seeing database mounted, the message here is that we have just only created the SGA and background processes. That means we just created the instance, and by using startup no mount command we can go to here. So remember, at this point database is not mounted. Then what I can do, I can mount by using this command called alter database mount. So what effectively I'm doing right now by doing this alter database mount, I'm reading the control file and I'm locating the data files and the redo log files. So I have not yet opened anything. So what I can do here, once the database is mounted, I can go on and rename the data files. And I can do enable or disable the archived redo log file. Okay, then in the mount stage I can do a full database recovery, full DB recovery. Okay, so that is the reason why we do alter database mount. Basically we arrive in this position, we mounted the database, and by mounting the database we can do all these operations. All right, then the last one is alter database open. So when you do alter database open, so actually, so let's do that. Okay, so database is opened. That means the data files is now, the data files are, you can read. And in the open DB, what you do is that the the important thing is that in the open database is that the database is all open right now, and then we can use them. And other things that you can do, you can also open the database in a restrict mode. So by opening the database in restrict mode, only the restricted user like SysDBA or sys or system can log in, whereas other normal users will not be able to log in. And DBAs usually open the database in restrict mode to perform some administration activities. And the last one is you can start the alter database using read only. So in that case there will no insert, all these things may not work, but still you can just read, you can run a select statement and so on. So this is all about database startup, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and in the next tutorial we are going to explain about shutting down the database.